My dear students, welcome to this YouTube channel. This is Khilesh Kumar, Assistant Professor in English. So, in today's literature class, I will teach you a poem, The Tiger by William Blake. So, this poem is prescribed in BA Part First Year Syllabus, Paper First English Literature. So, let's start The Tiger by William Blake. So before starting the poem, let's take a brief view on the introduction to the poet William Blake. So William Blake was born in 1757 and died in 1827. So he lived in a Romantic Revival period. So William Blake was a visionary English poet and painter. So William Blake was a painter also. He belongs to Romantic Revival age. Romantic Revival age, I have mentioned in my previous video that with the publication of Lyrical Ballad by William Wordsworth with the collaboration of his friend S.T. Coleridge in 1798, Romantic Revival starts. So, Romantic Revival starts in 1798. So, William Blake belongs to Romantic Revival age. He is known for his expressiveness and creativity. His paintings and poetry were the part of Romantic movement. So, not only his poetry but also his paintings were the part of Romantic movement. Blake was considered mad, crazy by contemporaries for his idiosyncratic view. Idiosyncratic means having different habit, different natural instinct or different nature of a person from this world. So William Blake had a very different think and nature from this world. So he was considered mad by contemporaries for his idiosyncratic view. So now the poem The Tiger. So William Blake got name and fame for his collection Songs of Experience, and in this collection the Tiger, the poem Tiger was published in this collection. So the poem was published in William Blake's collection Songs of Experience. So my dear students, remember this point. It can be asked in your exam in which collection the poem was published. In which collection the poem The Tiger was published. So your answer will be Songs of Experience. So this poem was published in William Blake's song collection Songs of Experience. The poem consists of 6 stanzas. So the poem has 6 stanzas with each stanza consisting of 4 lines each, and each stanza consists 4 lines. Okay, 6 stanza, and each stanza consists 4 lines. The poem presents the tiger. So you know that tiger is an animal, very dangerous, fearful, very powerful animal. So in this poem, the poet presents the tiger as a beautiful and superhuman creature. So in the poem, the poet beautifully describes about the physical, and it's powerful stature. So the tiger has immense physical strength, immense, a lot of, huge, a lot of. The tiger has immense, very much physical strength, and it can command over weaker animals. So in the forest, I think we all know about the power of the tiger, because in the forest no one can kill the tiger, but the tiger can kill any animal. God created the tiger as a dominant creature. So the tiger is a symbol of dominant. So as a dominant creature, no one can control the tiger. No one can control the power of tiger. So God created the tiger as a dominant creature. Next. So in the poem, the poet talks about the nature of God and its creation. The poet talks about the nature of God and its creation. God created a feeble being like the lame. So in the poem, the poet mentions a very weak and feeble animal, lame. God created all the beings, all the animals, all the things. So God created a feeble being like the lame, and he could also have made the fearsome tiger. He could also have made the fearsome tiger. So here the poet compares the powerful tiger with a feeble lamb, because both has been created by God, but one being is very feeble and second one is very fearsome and very powerful, having immense strength, the tiger. The poem is an expression of marvel and wonder and the tiger and its fearsome power. So the poem is an expression of marvel and wonder at the tiger and its fearsome power. Next, the poet directly addresses a tiger. So in the poem we see that the poet only talks about a tiger, talks about the strength of tiger, and he makes so many questions which will be unanswered. So the poet directly addresses a tiger. The poet wonders. The poet feels surprised. Did the tiger's creator have wings? Did the tiger's creator have wings? And whose hand would be daring enough to create the tiger? So, to create the tiger, did the tiger's creator have wings? So that he could create a very dangerous and powerful creature, the tiger. And whose hand would be daring enough to create the tiger? The poet imagines the kind of effort and skill made by God while creating the tiger, while creating a very dangerous and powerful creature, the tiger, that must have gone into creating the tiger. That must have gone into creating the tiger. So the poet imagines the kind of effort by creating the tiger, the skill by creating the tiger by God that must have gone into creating the tiger. The poet wonders who would be strong enough to build the tiger's muscular body. We all know that tiger has a very muscular body, very powerful body, very strong body. So the poet wonders who would be strong enough to build, the tiger's muscular body, and whose hands and feet were the ones that made the tiger's heart start beating, and whose hands and feet were the ones that made the tiger's heart start beating. So, my dear students, this is your part first of this poem. The remaining part we will complete in our part second. So, you will not miss second part also for this poem. So, thank you so much.